Valorant is a game that I've been wanting to play for quite a while now. I'm a pretty big fan of games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and the amount of hours that I spend every week playing Overwatch is not a number that I want to disclose here. But unfortunately for myself, I don't have a gaming PC. I play all of my games 100% on consoles, so I never got to play Valorant, even though I thought I would like it. But finally, a week or so ago, a limited closed beta for Valorant finally came to consoles, and I've been playing it for quite a while now, and I have a lot of thoughts that I want to share with you. So I'm going to show you some raw gameplay. I'm going to share with you guys my impressions on the beta, but before I do that, consider subscribing. I talk about video games all the time on this page. I do day one reviews and other video game discussions as well, but I also talk about and review movies and TV shows. But anyway, let's talk about Valorant. So first off, let me clarify what kind of review this is. Like I said, I've never played Valorant before this open beta, so this review won't consist of me comparing the game now to the game a year ago or anything like that, and this isn't going to be me talking about how the game feels on console compared to how it feels on PC. This review is just from the perspective of a brand new player playing the game for the very first time in its current state on console, and it's intended for someone in the exact same position as myself, or for a veteran player who's just curious to hear the thoughts and opinions of a brand new player. So what is Valorant? In case you don't know, it's a multiplayer first-person PvP shooter. It exists very much in the same realm as some of the other games that I mentioned before, and in this open beta there were 3 game modes to choose from: free-for-all, Team Deathmatch, and another game mode called Unrated, which is basically search and destroy from Call of Duty, where one team tries to plant a bomb while the other team tries to defuse it, and the off chance that they actually successfully plant it, or alternatively one team can just win by killing all other members of the enemy team. The game has your basic sort of weapons that you'd expect in a game like this: assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, but Valorant can also be considered a hero shooter because, kinda like Overwatch, each character you play as has their own unique variety of skills and abilities. For example, one dude has an arrow that can either shock people or provide recon. Another character can launch off smoke clouds and napalm strikes. But anyway, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm gonna level with you. The first day, maybe even the first 2 days that I spent playing this beta, I did not have fun practically at all. There's a lot of what seemed to me at the time to be just weird design and gameplay choices that made Valorant feel awkward and honestly kind of unfun. The time to kill was almost instantaneous. As soon as I turned the corner, I'd get insta-killed. There's no sprinting, so movement felt slow and sluggish. The game modes that were available in the beta just weren't fun for me at all, but full transparency here, I've never really been a fan of search and destroy style game modes because 99% of the time they just devolve into a camping fest, and from my experience the same thing happens in this game as well, and it's just not the gameplay style that I like. And the gunplay and the movement didn't feel enjoyable enough to make Team Deathmatch or free-for-all feel fun or make me want to play it. But after the first 2 days, I started to consider that maybe I was just approaching this game the wrong way. Maybe I wasn't fully grasping and understanding how Valorant wanted to be played, and I completely changed my gameplay tactics, and when I did that, I immediately started to have a lot more fun. The maps are designed with such an insane amount of choke points and just areas to place yourself for tactical advantages that I had to constantly tell myself to just slow down. Don't play Valorant like it's Call of Duty. Don't run and gun. Don't expect to get a kill if you're simply the first one to pull the trigger. Stick with your teammates whenever possible, peek around corners only when necessary, and really go for those headshots. I've never been the kind of guy to take an extra second to line up a headshot. In most first-person shooters, I go for body shots, and if I pull the trigger first, 9 times out of 10, I'm the one getting the kill. But again, that's definitely not the case in Valorant. Most of the time, it feels like you can unload half of a clip into a dude's sternum, but if they pop you in the head once after they already have a torso full of lead, they're gonna get the kill. It's not my favorite hit detection ratio, but I like how it automatically makes Valorant feel unique in its approach to PvP gunplay. And like I said, there's no sprinting either, just like in Overwatch, so that alone also forces you to be a bit more tactic and timed and not so gung-ho. And all of this combined makes Valorant feel like an almost perfect balance between more tactical, squad-based PvP shooters and the more arcadey games like Call of Duty and XDefiant. But what I think the biggest letdown in this game characters, at least for me, is by far the heroes, the characters that you play as. They have barely any personality at all, at least the ones available in the beta for me to play as, but also some of the other ones my teammates have played as well. I can't recall a single unique or distinct personality, which is super disappointing to me. One of the reasons why I love Overwatch so much is because of the characters and how each one has such a strong personality that's constantly being showcased. And again, that's just definitely not the case here in Valorant. But not just their personalities, but also each character's unique abilities. All of them feel a bit underwhelming and honestly a bit useless at times. And all of the games that I've played, I can't recall a single moment where an ability or a skill was used in a clutch situation to turn the tides in a true holy shit moment. To be fair, I'm sure that's kind of intentional. Maybe the developers wanted the abilities to be a lot more subtle, a lot more low-key, to potentially combat any pay-to-win accusations, but still, because of that, it creates a lot less uniqueness amongst its huge roster of characters, which honestly wouldn't be that big a deal if they at least had great personalities, but they don't. So at the end of the day, my first impressions of Valorant based on this demo are pretty mixed. I definitely like it more than X-Defiant. It definitely feels unique in such a saturated market, but I can't say with 100% honesty that I honestly had fun playing this, at least not yet. After a game or two, I never wanted to play another. It never beckoned me to have a long gaming session, but there's definitely a shit ton of potential here for sure. I'm certain that a ton of people will love it in the state that it's in now, and I can see why they would, but for me, I really need to see more of what the full game has to offer. I need more gameplay modes, and I really need at least one new gameplay mode to resonate with me. And I also want to test out a bunch of new characters since I didn't like any of the ones in this beta, but I hope I can unlock them in-game somehow, or at least unlock all of them with one purchase, because I sure as shit am not spending $10 to unlock one probably lame-ass character. But anyway, that's my quick and brief thoughts after playing the Valorant beta. Have you played it yet? If you have, let me know what you're thinking about it. I want to know what your thoughts are if you're a brand new player like me playing this for the first time, but I also want to know your thoughts if you're a veteran player. How does the game feel on console? How has the game evolved since it launched? But more specifically, based on what you've heard me say, if you're a veteran player, do you think I'd like it when the full game releases? Are there more fun game modes? Are the characters more interesting than I think they are now? Anyway, once again, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, especially if you watched this far.